The first race was weird, honestly. I think everyone can agree with that. Like, it's almost, you could hear a pin drop in the stadium, before a main event. So it was pretty crazy, but just, the morning practices and everything kind of, felt the same in a sense. I mean, Feld and AMA were trying to figure out their structure as well, so there was a little bit of chaos of where the mechanics stand and, things like that. But for the most part, it just felt good to be back in that environment. All the other teams are there, all the main guys, so, it felt normal in a sense. So that part was pretty good, but as far as the frequency of the events too, that, I kid around with the guys, it's, in a sense, it was almost like a motocross, Supercross boot camp. Like, it was like, just, it felt like every other day we were racing, and then, with the guys riding, and, we kind of had to split the crew a little bit because the race mechanics had to rebuild the bikes, and then we were still trying to test, and it was pretty chaotic, but it was fun. It was wide open. With Chase's bike, I think we had a good setup for a soft East Coast track. I think we spent a lot of time with Chase. We tested in Florida to try to get him that ruddy track, East Coast style track setup, and I think we're pretty good there, but we didn't really do too much testing leading into Salt Lake. He was happy with where his bike was, and we didn't want to mess him up, so we left it there. But that first night, we realized that we needed to work on our slick, hard pack setup. So honestly, we got beat with the first two races by Shane, and that one where he lost the front, that's, that wasn't good. So we worked pretty hard in Salt Lake and tried to come up with a new setup, and I think we got there. I think the first race on the new forks he won, and then he pretty much won from there on out. So, and it was a constant refinement that whole time too. It was just working on that dry slick, and luckily every track we rode in there was dry slick, so it was easy to work on it there. So the West Coast for me was a nice break. Like with Sexton and the championship, I mean, it's like, we had to be firing on all cylinders. We had to be, we were looking for perfection. Chase is coming off the track with a second place mad, so, and I mean, we are too. We're not trying to lose this thing. So honestly, the West Coast guys coming in was like the break that we all kind of needed, like on the technical staff, the suspension guys, the motor guys, myself. It was a nice break because, I mean, for one, the Lawrences are hilarious. So just having them around just lightens the mood. And then, Craig, he's pretty easy going. So, when they came in, it was like we were racing for fun. It was, it was almost like we're in a pickup truck. Just let's see what happens, boys. Like, we got nothing to lose. So it was quite a nice change from like having to be perfect on the other side, That entire day was the most stressful day I think I've had in my life, honestly. It was, first year in this position, the pressure I'm putting on myself, the pressure of this team in general, like the level of this team to withhold that standard. And then, first year, like I said, and then to be in a championship position, and then just the way that championship in particular was panning out, it was pretty stressful. I mean, really stressful. It was, Shane and Chase were kind of messing around with each other all day, and that was just adding to the stress and the pressure, and like it was kind of just like building, and then like, they even in the practice they had that big crash in the first turn and on a practice start, and it was like, holy crap, dude, like how's this day gonna go, and then heat race comes and Chase ended up, getting together with Nichols, and like I thought it was over then. Like that crash looked big enough from where I was like, that's it, it's over. But luckily it wasn't, so honestly, once. And then, I mean, the main event, right? Like you said, red flags. And for whatever reason, Chase just wasn't getting good starts that day. And then with the way that start was too, it was a 180 left. So, like, 180s are historical for first turn pileups. So like when he came out of that first, he didn't have a great start, but at least he came out of it and he was fine. And I mean, he had a terrible start in the first, I think he was going in dead last, and he did work on the first lap. He was in fourth with 2 teammates in front of him. So we were in a good spot. Like, he just needed a podium to clinch it. So that was like really the only goal. So with the red flag, it was like, shit, like we got to do another start. Like, like we were hoping in a sense for the staggered start, just because we didn't want to have to do that first turn again. And I mean, luckily he got out of there clean again. He had a much better start in the second one. He was in, I think, 5th or 6th or something, and they battled. I mean, not really battles. It was a weird championship protection kind of battle, It was interesting to watch, kind of, what's going to happen here. They're like playing chess with each other, But then once Chase decided to go, I was like, all right, thank God, just go, dude. Like, and he did, so it worked out. That whole day was like just building into like full, I was like, like in my mind, I'm like, man, like the way this is going, like we might have a freaking brawl with stars. Like, it's like going crazy, I'm like, dude, what is happening? We told the AMA, like the dude took his gate, like they have their little flags, like clearly the flags don't mean anything, and I mean, it's here nor there at this point. I'm not holding a grudge against any of those guys, so it is what it is. They were on the back foot, and I don't know if it was deliberate or not, but I know that desperate times call for desperate measures, and I know that with a lesser-minded rider, that could have been the difference. Like if Chase would have buckled under that could have been the difference in the championship, and then their strategy would have worked. So luckily, Chase just brushed it off and handled his job. So, I feel like between, the way last season ended, with me getting the job, it was at Millville was my first race. So it was like a week or 2 before that. Between that and this, it's like I've seen every jacked up scenario that there is, I feel like, at this point. So hopefully it gets easier from here on out. It's like just, point A to point B, I'm hoping. So, but, I don't know. It's just challenges in front of you, right? And dealing with those challenges. So that's, it's the job I signed up for. It's just been a bit of a weird season, but, it's, like I said, hopefully I feel like it can't get any worse than this year. So hopefully the next few years we're just racing and it's normal, and I actually get to try this job and see what it's like normally. So I'm looking forward to that. The one thing that I've learned, and I kind of knew it already, and you hear people say it and it sounds cliche or whatever, but it's, I didn't realize like how much the crew, the guys down there, like, that is the team. Like they're the ones that are doing the work to make the team, and up here it's just like steering the ship, but the work's happening down there, and you realize how much like those guys, I need those guys to execute what they do in order for this whole thing to work. And same with the riders. The riders equally, the bike only looks as good as its result, and it doesn't matter what we do to it. If it's not winning, it's not that good of a bike. So those two things, it's crazy how magnified it is up here between having good guys and good riders. I didn't necessarily know it was as big of a deal as it is. You just when you have bad season, whatever. When you're down there, it's just work in front of you, but up here you have to analyze why, and that's where it gets a lot different.